Okay, kids, it's time for another episode of the Fueled by Weird podcast, the only podcast that's on a mission from God. I'm Chris Daly, and tonight I'd like to welcome Mr. Brian Scanlon to the show. Brian, how are we doing tonight, sir?
Doing excellent. Thank you, Chris, for having me on the show.
Absolutely. Thanks for reaching out, man. I'm super stoked about this. All my intros, I usually like to customize them a little bit to who I'm talking to, and the fact that I finally got to use I'm on a mission from God makes me so excited.
Excellent.
So exciting. All right, man. Again, thank you so much for we've been kind of talking about doing this for a while. I'm glad we could finally
Yeah,
make it happen. So I'm very, very excited to chat with you, and we got a lot of fun stuff to talk about.
great.
So to start things off, I like to start these off with an icebreaker question. So tonight's question is, what is the worst bit of advice you've ever been given?
Don't work on cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was professional advice. Don't work on cars. And I foolishly did not go into that profession, although that's where my passion is. Um, and I regret it most times, but there's other times that I'm quite happy with doing what I'm doing. So, you know, that's the biggest one that comes to mind.
Yeah, I can kind of understand that a little bit. I know when I was a kid, I got really into pro wrestling, and when I told my parents I want to grow up and be a pro wrestler, they're like, "That's dumb. You need to grow up and get a real job, like computers. Get a job in computers. That's a good way to go." And again, granted, the terminology is a little bit dated because this is back in like the mid 90s. So for those out there who are young kids, which there's not a lot of youngins that watch this show, it's mostly older guys like us.
Okay.
Uh, that's back in the day when computers were still kind of becoming a big thing. And I was like, oh, I don't want to be in computers. Computers is dumb. I want to wrestle. Well, I can say now that I've been in the IT profession since 2009. So that didn't work out very well.
Well, coincidentally, I've been in IT since 1999.
Oh, nice. Very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. So over 30 years. And
Very cool.
yeah, it's just the coolest kind of job in the world. And you get your hands on everything, you get to learn a lot of things, and I don't regret it.
Oh,
But
definitely.
I was also like you. I don't want to mess with computers. Those are,
Yeah.
dumb.
Hmm.
There's no real future in that. And here
Yeah.
we are.
Uh,
Now I'm worried about AI.
right. Can I ask what you do in IT? Like, what's your genre? Is it hardware, software, kind of a little bit of everything?
A little bit of everything. I'm currently, and I say currently, by 15 years, I'm an IT project manager.
Okay.
Um,
Mhm.
I specialize in infrastructure type projects,
Nice.
new office builds, expansions, things of that nature, making sure that the network's all correct, making sure we have all of the audio video technology that we were asked to provide. Just going
Nice.
through the list, working with, you know, a cross stream of different business units and technology stacks. So that's pretty cool. That's where I like to be.
Nice.
Keeps a foot in the technology side, yet, I'm not getting screamed at for why is this not working?
Yeah, I get that. I know for the first very large chunk of my career, I did hardware, so I did tech support,
Yep.
and I decided after a while that that's a young man's game, and
This is
I was getting too old to climb under people's desks and plug their stuff back in. Plus, there was a lot of people I ran into that didn't have real great hygiene, and it was kind of gross under there. So I was like,
very much so.
I can't do that anymore. So now I'm more on the software side. I do
Good.
commercial off the shelf support. So
Okay.
people will, I bought this piece of software and I want to start using it. I need your help. And so, we'll spin up the servers to install it. We'll install it. We'll do patches, configuration, stuff like that. So kind of like you, I kind of got my hands in a bunch of different pies where I'll work with,
Yeah.
networking and cyber and all that stuff to get stuff stood up. So it's like you said, it keeps things interesting. I do still occasionally get the, oh my gosh, my stuff's broken. Why is my stuff not working? Which is a lot different than when it's actual hardware, but it's a lot easier when it's software, I think.
Yes, it is definitely. Usually it's, restart the app or
Yep.
I hate to say the cliche, reboot your machine,
Yeah, and
most
it's
of the time. Yeah.
I know people who would get so mad at that answer, but it's like, you'd be surprised more often than not. That's the fix
Yep.
for
Yep.
sure.
Yep. Especially if you're application heavy user. I mean, you're using
Hmm.
multiple applications at the same time. All of them are cloud based. Do
Yeah.
you have any idea what that's doing to your browser?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we support a mixture of cloud and on-prem applications. So yeah, we get it from all different angles. It's pretty
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah,
Pretty exciting.
definitely.
Well, not exciting for people who don't understand IT. They're probably like, "Oh
Well, we
my
could talk an
God."
hour about this.
Right? Exactly. All right, sir. Well, when you're not busy in the office, helping people with their IT issues, what are some of your hobbies, your interests that you do, outside of work? You kind of mentioned working on cars. What are some other things you like to do in your spare time?
Uh, Working on cars, taking care of my house, obviously,
Sure.
vacations,
Nice.
things of that nature. Anything to unplug and disconnect for whatever amount of time I can.
Sure.
It seems that nowadays, between work and other obligations, I'm always connected. And
Yeah. Yeah.
once in a while, I just want to just leave the phone, leave the computer inside the house, go outside, get in the garage. Might not even have anything planned to do, but just go there and stare at tools or parts that I need to put on the car and,
Yeah.
just take a break from the monotony of it all.
Oh, for sure. And you might not have anything planned, but it's always real easy to find something.
Oh, there's always a list, whether it's my
Absolutely.
own list or a honey-do list from the missus.
Nope, I get that for sure. I just spent a few hours putting up a window tint in my house last night to try to help with the extreme heat.
Yes,
So yep, I understand. Yeah,
definitely.
very, very much so. No, you mentioned vacations. I know you just got back from vacation. Do you want to kind of talk a little bit about that for a minute and how it went?
Sure. We just got back from Cancun.
Oh,
Uh,
nice.
yes, beautiful. Love it. We go down to Cancun area at least once a year. It was rather hot though this time, which usually it isn't that hot in July. It's later on August or so that it gets really hot. But other than the weather, it was beautiful. No rain, just gorgeous. And
Nice.
typically, I like just to go to the resort and stay at the resort and just stay in the pool for a week. But this time we actually did some excursions, went to the ruins in Tulum, which were amazing
Oh,
to
wow.
see in person. We did a couple of other small excursions into some local towns just to walk around and catch a local flavor for once. And
Nice.
it turned out really well. And I just really enjoyed it and can't wait to go back.
Nice. Now, do you guys go for like a special occasion or just kind of just because kind of thing?
Usually just because or whenever we can fit it into our calendars, really.
Hmm.
It's, it's important to us to get away.
Oh, for sure.
The old adage, I'll work now and travel later doesn't fly in our house. It's, let's do it while we can still can.
Or you still can enjoy it even.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. That's awesome, man. Very cool. Okay, so what I want to know now is, for those that don't know, you are the owner of the world's only replica Chicago Bluesmobile from the Blues Brothers movie, which
Correct.
is fantastic. And it's kind of awesome. Now, the way I got connected with you in the first place is my good friend Adam, RIP. We kind of had a shared love of the Blues Brothers with my dad also, who also has passed away. And he was like, "Have you heard of the Chicago Bluesmobile on Instagram?" And I'm like, "What?" He's like, yeah, man, you got to go check it out. It's so awesome. It's this guy's got a replica of the Bluesmobile and he kind of goes all over the place. You should go check it out. And I'm like, okay, that's super, super rad. And so, I followed you. I've been following you for a long time. And then I remember one day you had posted, someday I'd like to get on a show or something and talk about the blues, the story of the car. So I'm
Right.
like, heck, that's my opportunity. So
Yep.
I'm very excited to hear the story of the car. But first, what I want to do is talk about your introduction to the Blues Brothers. Uh, how did you learn about it? What was your first experience to it? How were you introduced to the Blues Brothers?
So, great question. And this goes way, way, way back. Comedy was always a big part in my household growing up. Um, the weirder the comedy, the better. I was raised on Monty Python and Second City,
Nice.
obviously
Sure.
Saturday Night Live,
Mhm.
all of the greats. And when I was, oh, I don't know, around five, I could say, honestly say about five. NBC used to run reruns of the first five seasons of Saturday Night Live. So I was introduced to the first cast, Belushi, Aykroyd, Murray, all of them, and I was
Yeah.
just infatuated with them. It was just
Sure.
so hilarious to me. And anything that they were in subsequently to Saturday Night Live, I had to see. And that goes 1941. That's one of the first ones that they starred in together, Aykroyd and Belushi.
Yeah.
And so fortunately, very progressive in terms of comedy at my house. They allowed me to watch these movies and TV shows. And you know, you saw the Blues Brothers as a musical act on Saturday Night Live. It's
Yeah.
often misrepresented as a skit. It was never skits. They went on as musical guests, and so I saw that and loved the music. And knowing who was performing them, as soon as I heard about the Blues Brothers movie, I had to see it. So all the way back in 1981, I think I was about six, and the Blues Brothers came on HBO. So had to beg my parents, I want to see this movie. I want to see this movie. They're like, all right, well, let's watch it first and we'll let you know. And,
Yeah.
because it was rated R. And obviously, there was nothing really R rated in the movie other than the language.
Sure.
And growing up in a South Side Irish household, there was no shortage of colorful language used. So
I'm
that
sure.
didn't bother my parents at all. It's like,
Sure.
oh, it's nothing he hasn't heard before.
Yeah.
So that was really what started me down that line is first Saturday Night Live, seeing the movies, and then finally seeing the actual Blues Brothers movie was what got me into all things Blues Brothers, if you will.
That's so cool. I mean, you're a little bit older than me, not a ton older than me, because I was born in '84,
Okay.
so I was just real little back then. But it would have been so cool to kind of see that stuff like first, even though it was a rerun, it'd still be really cool to see it, like
Yeah.
live on TV. That's such a cool way to experience that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And then after seeing the movie, they got me the soundtrack, and I'm pretty sure they regretted that because the soundtrack was playing constantly.
Oh
And
man.
back then, you had the little portable cassette players with one little
hmm
speaker, and just carrying that thing around the house playing Minnie the Moocher over and over and over again.
I was going to mention that actually because, my introduction to Blues Brothers was, every Sunday or every weekend, my dad would always, do vacuuming and he would always like do the dusting and all that. So he would do a lot of cleaning around the house. And he would either have a movie playing in the background as his background noise, or he would turn an album on and just let it play.
Yep.
And a lot of times, it was Armageddon, which I could go the rest of my life and never watch that movie again. Or Blues Brothers was on quite a bit. So was the soundtrack. And that's kind of my first introduction to it was Minnie the Moocher. I'd always hear, and I was like, man, this is incredible. Like, who is this? And my dad
Yep.
he's like, all right, son, sit down. Let me tell you all about this.
Yep.
And so he
Yep.
he taught me all about it, and I was like, man, this is incredible. And I think I listened to the soundtrack way before I ever even listened to to watch the movie. And he sat me down to watch the movie. I'm like, Dad, this is incredible. And
Yep.
it was right around that time that Blues Brothers 2000 was coming out because it was, I was kind of a kid back then still. Not kind of, I was a kid back then, but you know, uh, when it comes to Blues Brothers 2000, I know a lot of people, really didn't care for it that much. Me personally, I mean, it was kind of different, but I mean, it still really had to me, it still had the spirit to it for sure.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts about Blues Brothers 2000?
It's no original.
Sure.
It's it's not a bad movie,
Right.
really. Anyone that walked into Blues Brothers 2000 expecting the magic of the first one w was going to be disappointed regardless.
For sure.
I think a lot of it has to do with the stories that I've heard after the fact that how hindered uh Aykroyd was
Oh,
at
really?
making the movie, and John Landis. Universal was very big into the kids movies at the time, so that's why
Ah,
there's a kid. That's why there's less language. That's why everything looks bright and colorful and clean versus the grittiness of the original. Uh,
sure.
and also finding out that Aykroyd didn't make the movie to make the movie or to make a ton of money. He made it because he wanted to put all his heroes in another movie, all of the
That's
musicians.
cool.
So, yeah, and he knew that, for a lot of them, it might be one of their last appearances. So he wanted to get that captured, and the soundtrack is phenomenal. I, you
Absolutely.
know, yeah, I mean, the music's great. The band
Yeah.
was on point still. Um, yeah, so I won't take a dump on the movie, but, walk into it with open eyes and
Uh,
no reservations of what you think it's going to be, because it's definitely not going to be anything that you think of.
yeah. I mean, it's definitely not a terrible movie, but I mean, it
No,
wasn't a great movie by any
no,
imagination, but it was decent. I mean,
yeah,
John Goodman is fantastic.
yes,
Fantastic. He fit in so perfectly.
yep,
So perfectly.
yep, absolutely. And, everyone will harp on it, because Belushi died, and,
Yeah,
you know, nobody can fill his shoes. So
absolutely.
the fact that John Goodman had the courage to step into a role that everyone perceived as being Jake, kudos to him, because that's a hard act to follow, and
For sure.
even harder to pull off. And I think, like you said, he did it absolutely phenomenal job.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with you about the music, like, all the kind of nods to, older blues, but having some of the, modern contemporary blues like Johnny Lang, who is an
Yes,
incredible musician. That song is incredible.
yes, it is
Yeah,
absolutely. Jenny Lang is fantastic. I
I
had the
agree.
pleasure of seeing him in person a couple of years ago at Ravinia.
Oh,
It's a
that's cool.
festival up in the northern suburbs of Chicago, and he was on a double bill with Buddy Guy.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. So it was pretty cool, and the fact that I got to bring the Bluesmobile there was even better.
Oh, that's incredible, man. Oh, that's so cool. All right. Well, speaking of the Bluesmobile, I think we're now ready. Let's dig into that. So,
Okay.
what was it that inspired you to create your own Bluesmobile, aka why don't we share the story of how the Bluesmobile came to be?
Sure. Quite simply, it's something I always wanted. And as I mentioned earlier, I was born in the mid 70s. I grew up in the 80s, and the 80s was just a phenomenal time for movie and TV cars. And, you'd think about it, the Blues Brothers, Knight Rider, A-Team, Back to the Future, Ghostbusters, all of these,
I mean, the Batmobile.
Batmobile, yeah,
Yeah,
all of these cool movies with these cool cars. And I just, for whatever reason, always came back to the Bluesmobile and the
sure.
Blues Brothers. So that's the one that I decided, that I wanted. And it took a really long time to find a car to convert into a Bluesmobile. And once I had the opportunity, though, I couldn't turn it down. Um, and so I bought the car 10 years ago and didn't even, other than driving it home from where I purchased it, um, didn't do anything to it. I tore into it right away. I spent nights and weekends for 8 months converting it into my vision of a bluesmobile. And um, so yeah, that's the long story short on why I chose it. It's just something that I don't know. There was always a pull to the bluesmobile. It just thought it was just so cool. It did cool stunts. It looked the part, you know, kind of rough on the edges, but good on the inside. So I'm like, yeah, that's me, so
Sure.
I could vibe with that.
Yeah, I
And
get that.
so that's was the inception of me building my own Bluesmobile.
That's awesome. And preparing for this interview, I was kind of looking at some of the videos online and I saw one you did, I think about 10 years ago, I think is when it was posted. Um, you were kind of showing off, all the different details of the car. And my God, sir, you went into very, very meticulous detail and kudos to you.
Thank you.
You got all the little fine details down like to a T. You even like paid super close attention to like the cassette and the 8 track. You've got, the beer cans and the cigarette butts and the briefcase and the bullwhip. And your joke about the Miss Piggy was hilarious. Do we want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure. A lot of times when I bring the Bluesmobile to a car show, I strap a Grover doll
Yeah.
onto
Yep. I
the
remember that.
push bars as a homage to the mall scene where the guy holds up Grover and asks, "Do you have a Miss Piggy?" Well, I also have a Miss Piggy that I keep in the back seat. She goes along for the ride. It's just it's my way of putting little Easter eggs in the car for people to find. And that's why I do it. All the detail is it's a human form of Easter eggs. It's letting people go into the car and look at it, and they might not realize what they're looking at first, but then they'll see the Budweiser cans or they'll see the Chesterfields on the dashboard or the briefcase with the marine epoxy glue or just all of those little details bring me great joy and um worked really hard to make sure that those were right. And I just get a kick out of seeing people slowly nod their head and then start smiling and saying, all right, yeah, I remember that. And then they'll chuckle to themselves and walk away. And, I made someone happy that day.
That's so cool. And I was going to mention that, what cooler car to pick than, one that was part of one of the most incredible driving through the mall scenes ever. And of course, one of the cars that initiated the one of the biggest car crashes on record, right? I mean,
Yes.
that's amazing.
Yes. It held the record for most cars wrecked on film until Blues Brothers 2000. And they topped it by maybe two or three cars.
That's so cool. And I know
Yeah.
I just recently my wife had heard us talk about Blues Brothers Forever. She had never seen it. So I'm like, "Oh, my dear, you're in for a treat." And when we got to the car crash scene, she couldn't believe. She's like, "When are the cars going to stop crashing?" I'm like, "Oh, just keep waiting. It's coming."
It doesn't stop.
Yeah. Oh man. It was just watching her watch it for the first time was pretty fun because she
That's
isn't really into a lot of the movies that I'm into because she really likes horror and scary movies and I'm kind of the opposite. Not kind of, I'm pretty super the opposite, but getting her to watch something that's not a scary movie is a feat in itself and getting her to watch one that's not scary that she actually enjoys is even tougher. So it was really cool that
good for
I was
you.
I was glad she liked it. It was good
Yeah, absolutely.
for sure. Okay, so we've got actually before we go on to that, I wanted to ask you about the siren on top. So
Yes,
how in the world did you come across the siren for your car?
I, I built that as well.
What did you build it out of? Just
Well, so I had the big cone fabricated at a metal shop
okay.
and brought it home, and I have a real air siren in the middle as the smaller speaker, and uh, lots of wood, lots of PVC pipe, all of the bolts, everything. Took me quite a while to build that, and I'm proud that I was able to pull it off because it is to scale,
Yeah, it
as
looks
best
like
as
it.
I can tell.
Sure.
And um, funny enough, it's the one thing in the beginning that I said I wouldn't build. I'm like, I don't want the speaker. The speaker was on the mo in the movie for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That's stupid. And every time I took the car out, where's the speaker? Where's the speaker? I'm like, okay, so I better listen. And I'm glad I did because I use it during parades and um, other events that I take the car to, and it brings smiles to people's faces. It's like just the most bizarre thing you could see. You don't expect to see this car driving down the street with a huge speaker on the roof, and
Yeah.
I get a kick out of that. And I'm sure others do as well. But yeah, so long story short is I listened to people and I built it, and haven't looked back. I still use it to this day. It's getting heavier as I get older, but
That's awesome.
I still enjoy driving around with the speaker, especially when you're doing 70 down the expressway and people are like, "Whoa, what just flew by me?"
That's incredible. That's incredible. And that's cool that you did that because, not only, is it fun to see, it definitely, stands out. If you're at a car show, that's definitely something that people are going to flock to
Yes,
for sure.
yes, definitely. Because a lot of times without the speaker on, people will look at the car if I take it to a show and wonder, what's this car doing here? I'm parked next to a '69 Chevelle that's all done up and shining and
Yeah,
this beautiful car, and people look at mine and like, what are you doing here? Like, what is this? Is this some sort of joke? And so
yeah,
I tend to put the speaker on for shows just to, call out the fact that this is the Bluesmobile, and try to get their memories going before they wander too long.
very cool. Now, I have to ask, is it as heavy? Because you had mentioned it's getting heavier. Is it as heavy as it looks? Because it looks incredibly heavy.
If I were to guess, I would say it's about 150 pounds.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty good
Yeah.
size then.
Yeah. And typically I get it on and off the car by myself, um, with the use of some scaffolding material, and I don't have a garage high enough that I could keep the speaker on the car all the time. So if I want to
Sure.
park the car in the garage, I got to take the speaker off. So I've worked out a system over the years, and I do pretty well. But typically, if I had help with me, it would take four people to put the speaker on, one on each end of uh, the bracing where it goes onto the roof itself. So it's
Oh,
quite
wow.
heavy. Yeah, yeah.
How long does it take you to get it on and get it off every time you do it?
About an hour and a half.
One way, like just to get it on?
just to get it on
Holy
about an hour
cow.
and a half. And then
Wow.
getting it off is, oh, I got that down to about 30 minutes. That's a lot easier.
Mm, that
Yeah,
makes sense.
but it's all manual labor.
Oh man, that labor of love for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, very cool. All right, so you've got this car, you've got your dream car.
Mhm.
What uh how did you go about starting to, share it on the internet, or what made you kind of decide to, I'm going to start sharing this with other people? How did that get started?
So that wasn't my idea at all. Like I said, I, I use this car as a means to disconnect from the internet.
Sure.
Um, but while I was building it, my wife said, you should really start a blog. There's other people out there like you that probably want to build a car like this. And,
Yeah,
you're doing the work, you're taking all these detailed pictures to reference, why don't you just put it out on the internet? So that's what I did at first. And showed the progress from start to finish on how I built the car. And um, thankfully, she talked me into that because otherwise, nobody would know about the car. But so I started with the blog, and then once it was finished, everyone would ask me, "Well, what are you planning on doing with it?" And I'm like, I don't know, drive it and just, have fun. And, I had no plans whatsoever on what I wanted to do with the car.
sure.
And then I had some friends suggest, oh, well, you could start posting this on Instagram and Facebook, and you don't even have to work that hard because you can link your accounts together and you post to one, it posts to both. I'm like, oh,
That's
okay.
true. That's true.
I could do that. So that's where I got the idea of taking pictures of the car. And being fortunate enough to live in Chicago, I get to go to all of the filming sites that still remain. And I would take it to the Triple Rock Baptist Church or the Palace Hotel Ballroom, and I'd take pictures out in front, and start quoting the movie. And that's really the essence of my Instagram feed is it's usually just quotes from the movie and a picture to accompany them that either is of an actual filming location or something that could represent. Like I like to go to places with old, cool, vintage neon. Like there's a lot of old motels like that still in Chicago. So I'll go to a
Yeah,
random motel, take a picture in front of the neon sign, and use a quote that correlates to the motel scene in the movie. So that's what started it. And that's really what people seem to have embraced when I first started out. So I've just kept it going all these years, um, which is wild that, I could get such a large following over just a 2 hour movie. I always try to stay within the confines of the world of the Blues Brothers, and people love it. And I don't have an explanation for that, but I think it's very cool, and I get a lot of joy out of it. It's like the Instagram version of a midnight movie, a lot of interaction, a lot of quotes going back and forth. It's wild. So that's really where that started from.
that's cool. So you didn't even originally start as, wanting to share. You kind of just wanted it as your own like personal project, just to kind of just
Yeah.
something for you. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well,
It totally started off as a personal passion project for me and shared it with the world, and the world responded. So that was really cool.
yeah, I'll speak for on behalf of the world that we're very glad you decided to share because it's very cool watching all the adventures you go on. It's very, very cool.
Thank you. I
Even all
appreciate
the
it.
even all the mishaps. I know I've seen some posts lately where there's been some car trouble.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there is. And I don't try to hide that. It's like,
Yeah,
this is a reality of driving a 50-year-old car across the country is, sometimes things break and you got to deal with it. And, It's just part of the I'm stuck on the word I'm looking for. The aura of the Bluesmobile. No matter what, it doesn't go down for long. It comes back.
Yeah, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Everyone's all along for the ride.
Absolutely.
Very cool. Now, going from the blog to, social media posts and now you're doing all these appearances, did people reach out to you to come start doing appearances? Did you reach out to people to kind of start, showing the car off at places?
Yeah, it started off with me um, reaching out to small communities around the Chicagoland area, offering, my services for parades or events. And I really didn't get a lot of traction with that. Um, I did a few here and there in the beginning, and um, but the response was kind of lukewarm at best in the beginning. So it caught me by surprise when it finally did take off. And at this point, I wasn't soliciting too much. They were reaching out to me and asking for me to make these appearances. So I thought that was very cool. And I did it for the adventure fact. It's something that I never did before. So hey,
Yeah.
why not? Let's do this. Let's do a big corporate event or do I've done some small films with corporate entities that wanted to work a Blues Brother themed uh, film into their events. And so people started reaching out to me more and more, started doing a lot more appearances. And, I'll still advertise from time to time, that I'm available for parades, parties, and events. But, you know, really, I don't have to anymore. They find me thanks to Instagram and the blog and word of mouth, quite frankly.
Nice. Very cool. Now, when you're going to do events, do you have like a limit of how far out you'll go, or what's the farthest event that you've gone to from Chicago?
Driving myself, I've gone as far west as Denver, as far east as Leesburg, Virginia, far north as Minnesota, Minneapolis, Minnesota, and I haven't taken it down south, surprisingly. So I
Oh,
haven't
wow.
had a chance, but yeah, routinely would get in and do a 15-hour drive to some far unknown location that I've never been to just to do an event. So that was pretty cool. And the car's been to Los Angeles, but I didn't drive it. That was trailered.
Hmm.
So I guess you could say it's been all over the country.
Nice. Denver's pretty close to me, so that's very, very exciting.
Yeah.
Is there anywhere that you haven't gone yet that you'd like to go?
Oh, I want to bring it down to Memphis, Tennessee.
Very cool.
Yeah. And Willie Hall lives down in Memphis. He was the drummer for the Blues Brothers band in the movie. Also a great drummer for many of the uh, artists that were on the Stax label. And I would love to drive it down there and meet Willie. So that's on my goal list to accomplish. So hopefully I can get that done within the next year or two.
That'd be cool. So
Yeah.
you've pretty much visited most of the states, probably not all of them, but most of them.
Yeah, most of them.
Very cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
There,
Or at least I've driven through them.
have you ever been through Idaho or been to Idaho before?
No, no, not driving the car. I've been to Idaho before, but not with the Bluesmobile. That would
Nice.
be a trek.
That would be for sure. Very for sure. From Chicago, absolutely. But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean it's not too far from Denver though. But if you would like to try to make the trip to Idaho, I think I've got someone I could have reach out to you for sure.
Okay, cool. I'm always open to the idea.
Awesome. Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so now, I've got to talk about the thing that one of the things I'm most excited about. I'm excited about this whole conversation, by the way, but I want to know, you met the man himself, Dan Aykroyd. How did that come together?
Okay, meeting Dan. Yes, that was a long process. The Blues Brothers official page noticed me on Instagram,
Hmm.
and they started following me. They liked the content I was pushing out. Um, but at the time, they were not, very active. They did a couple of gigs a year, mostly corporate events, and um, so I didn't think that the opportunity would ever come. Fast forward a couple of years later, my wife bought me tickets to a Blues Brothers concert in Minnesota, strangely enough, with Dan and Jim with the band, and we actually had a meet and greet uh, after the show. So I got to meet Dan. Didn't get really a chance to talk to him, but got a picture, of course. And
Of course.
but I did get to talk to Jim,
Oh, nice.
and I showed him a picture of a car. I said, "Hey, I got a Bluesmobile. Here it is. If you ever need it, let me know." And around that time, he was just starting up his cannabis business, and he goes, "The day marijuana's legalized in Illinois, I'll be there and I'll be driving your car." And I'm like, "Okay, cool. Yeah, right. Like that's ever going to happen." And
Right.
sure enough, it did. But in the meantime, in between that, Blues Brothers reached out to me. They wanted to offer me uh, an opportunity to partner with them as being Blues Brothers approved ventures, and me being an official Bluesmobile of Chicago. This was around the time of the 45th anniversary of the movie. They were planning on coming to Chicago and doing some big shows and touring around the city, and they wanted to lock me in to be part of that. And unfortunately, COVID came, and
Oh,
as
man.
everyone knows, the world stopped.
Yeah.
But fortunately, they saw that there was still a value, so uh we did come to a partnership agreement, and it's very cool. It's my agreement signed by Judy Belushi, who's since passed on. So I keep that document near and dear to my heart.
Oh, for
Um,
sure.
and um, that's really how it started. It was supposed to be a big party in Chicago for the 45th. Hopefully, when the 50th rolls around, they'll come on and do something, but we'll see about that.
Absolutely. That'd be super cool. One thing I wanted to ask that I forgot to ask earlier was
Sure.
when you take the car out to events and to, all the different appearances, do you dress up?
Yes and no. Sometimes I do, especially if it's like a parade or that, you
Yeah,
know, y- y- I want to give the illusion that it's being driven by the Blues Brothers. So I will dress up. My son will dress up with me. Um, Even in the dog days of summer when it's super hot out, we'll get suited up, and we might be wearing shorts on inside the car, but we do both. We'll dress up, or sometimes I'll just take it out and take it for a spin. Have no particular place in mind to go. I'll just drive it around the city, and I won't dress up for that.
Sure.
But always have the Ray-Bans on.
That's fantastic. Do you guys give yourselves official Blues Brothers names when you go out?
Oh no, no, nothing like that.
No fun nicknames?
No,
Oh man, that's okay.
I'll have to
I-
think about that. Yeah,
Yeah, I
I'd
mean
have to think
you
about
gotta make yourself official, man.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, you're already pretty much the whole way there. You gotta top it off with a cool name, cool
Let me
cousin
think.
name.
Yeah, let me think of a cool cousin name for myself. So,
Nice. Very
yes.
cool. Very cool. All right. Well, do you have anything coming up that you want to talk about? Any appearances that you're going to be doing soon that you want to take a minute to promote?
I don't. I've decided after the 4th of July, which is usually a busy weekend at my house,
Mhm.
I was going to take a little bit of a break. I want to
Okay.
do some maintenance on the car, do
Nice.
some things other than the Bluesmobile for a little while, but um, I'll still be posting on Instagram. I'll still be very active on social media, promoting the car at least. So
Sure.
if anything interesting does come up, I'll let you know.
Sounds good. Well, yeah. Keep us posted for sure.
Definitely.
All right. Well, before I let you go, I want to take a minute to do a final thought. So, if Brian now could go back in time and give young Brian some advice, what would that advice be?
Follow through with your passions and your dreams. Don't let anyone take those away from you. It's incredibly important to have a dream and have a passion outside of the normal rituals of life that you yourself can enjoy and get creative energy out of that. And as crazy as your idea may be, don't let anyone talk you out of it. If it's something that's going to bring you pleasure or give you an outlet that you might not normally be uh, afforded, go for it. We're all a little weird, so you know,
It's true.
fly that flag.
Do it. Embrace the things that feel you're weird, man.
Yes,
You got to. And
yes,
I always tell a lot of other creators that I talk to, like, sometimes those weird ideas that you think are just too weird to do, those are the ones you should do because those end up usually being the most fun.
yes, absolutely. And I tell you, it's been a heck of a ride so far, and I still love it, and I have no plans on giving it up anytime soon. I'm going to do this as long as I can.
Very cool. All right, man. So where can people keep up to date with you? Where can people find you on social media?
You could find me on Instagram at the Chicago Bluesmobile, also on Facebook under the Chicago Bluesmobile, and I also have my legacy blog, thechicagobluesmobile.com. That's not updated as frequently, but there is a treasure trove of artifacts detailing the build of the car that you might find cool. And then just follow me on social media if you wanted to see my continuing adventures with the Chicago Bluesmobile.
Very cool. Now, for me, I want to take a minute to thank Polygon Horizon. Their song Pizza Force is the song I use for the show. It's a fantastic song. They're great guys. Go check them out. Bandcamp, SoundCloud, anywhere you find them. Go check them out. Show them some love. Now, Fueled by Weird, you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. On Threads too. I need to mention Threads because Threads is kind of awesome.
It is.
A lot of the social media kind of sucks, but Threads is kind of awesome.
Yes,
Um, you can also find me at fueledbyweird@gmail.com. You can find the show on YouTube, Spotify, and anywhere podcasts are sold. You can also find any of the links that I talked about a minute ago on my Linktree, so go check that out if you want to find any of the specific links. Um, Check out my dude Hassel Hutchison. He's got a show, the Nerdy Manroom Show, uh, on the Nerdy Manroom Show channel. He has a review show where he does unboxings and just talks about toys and stuff like that. He also has a show called Card Subject to Change. It's a what if for pro wrestling. So if you like what ifs and you like pro wrestling, go check it out because he puts a ton of work into that and it's incredible. Also check out Big Rob's House of Entertainment, No Chinese Food. Big Rob's a great dude. He travels all over, finds lots of all the cool deals, has lots of cool stories to tell. Um, the three of us, along with our friend Monster, make up the Stay Weird Network. It's a podcast network dedicated to bringing some awesome back to the internet. Because, like I said, sometimes the internet sucks, especially lately. And, in addition to doing the disconnect, which we all should do to kind of get away from the negativity, if you're going to be online, surround yourself with some positivity because that
Yep,
makes it so much better.
absolutely.
Um, you can check us out at Stay Weird Network on YouTube and Instagram, and you can also shoot us an email at stayweirdnetwork@gmail.com. If you like the show, please leave a review and tell your friends because word of mouth is my friend. And remember, kids, it's only weird if you make it weird. So make it real weird. Brian, thanks so much for joining me tonight, man. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome, Chris. Thank you for having me, and it's been a
Absolutely.
pleasure.